Aber was ist das Whiteboard-Ending?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Was hat sich alles verändert hier? Warehouse Access Plan. Produce on blank to allow fast fence. Construct bridge to allow collection of shiny load. Retrieve Chris remains from warehouse floor. Construct new structurally sound bridge. We need no more blanks. Okay, es ist scheinbar im Warehouse eine... Ja. Oh! Inside of a sequel exhibit. Ja, das haben wir schon. Das war das erste. Ah, both red and blue. Da wissen wir schon, wo es ist. Stairs, something to do with stairs. Ja. Large rooms. Lots of boxes. Das weiß ich tatsächlich nicht. Nearby a fireplace. A private but smelly place for an important person. Es war Boss Office. Fireplace, weiß ich gar nicht mehr, wo das war. There must be a point to this. There will be a reward for finding them all. Lies. Right. 666 lol. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. Yeah, I want to go home. Figurine Finder Committee. No memo from management. Cool. Why wouldn't they just tell us something will happen? This investigation, this room, they feel pointless, to be honest. Trust the completionist instinct. Followed clues by 416, we can do it. Red room? Hat noch keinen roten Raum. Thank you, good luck. You do? Mann, es ist jetzt alles voll mit diesem Figurine-Zeug? Cool.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. If I did, you can guarantee we'd be in here for hours.
Ja.
But alas, no stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Da muss doch... Ah, da ist es.
Okay, I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines.
Okay,
And now
komm
I'm
zurück.
torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley?
Stanlerines.
What name better encapsulates
Wobei
the
Figlies
intrinsic
wären...
sense of
Okay, nein, es geht
happiness
im Deutschen
that you
nicht.
get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me. But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fined for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong.
Ja,
Surely
super
no
wrong.
good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd.
Ja.
Now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious. he exclaimed. "Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it." Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him. "Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket." Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Ja.
"Come to me, Stanley. Find me." He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Dieses Spiel ist ein wenig durchgedreht. Müssen wir noch zu den rot-blauen Räumen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Wir können ohne einmal los? Oh, lol.
It was okay.
It was okay.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Nein.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh. Oh. Das war knapp.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? Why, I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look, let me prove it. Let me prove that I'm on your side. You're getting close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can. Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Stanley geht wieder. Ciao. Mit V. Stanley kann nicht gehen. Schade war's. Dann geht Stanley durch die blaue Tür.
Aha, perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door. I still don't think we're communicating properly. Stanley walked... All right, fine, go ahead, Stanley. You want to know so badly what's out there? You want to find out what lies at the end of
Sind
this
wir eigentlich schon mal
road
durch die
you've
rote
chosen?
Tür
Well,
gegangen?
don't let me stop you. You see?
Ah,
There's
stimmt, ja,
nothing
da war
here.
das andere Ende.
I haven't even finished building this section of the map because you were never supposed to be here in the first place. Broken rooms, exposed developer textures. Is this what you had
Mach's
wanted?
schneller!
Was it worth ruining the entire story I had written out specifically for you?
Ja.
Do you not think I put a lot of time into that? Because I did. And in the end, it was all for nothing. Because this is what you wanted to see. Help me here, Stanley. Help elucidate these strange and unknowable desires of yours. What would have made this game better? What did you want to see? Vehicles? Skill trees?
Ich will das
Work with
letzte
me. You've given me
Collectible.
absolutely nothing so far. Tell you what. Let me take a stab in the dark at a new design, and you can give me some feedback. There we go. A third option. This already feels leaps ahead of where we were before. Go ahead, Stanley. Take it for a... Okay, I'm going to stop you there. Now, tell me about your experience with this new version. Would you
Super
say that the
grausam.
game benefited
Nein.
from allowing you more choices?
Nein.
Feel free to be honest. I'm looking for some real critical feedback here. A 1? I mean, I can understand if you had reservations, you saw ways the game could be improved to more fully express itself mechanically and artistically,
Ja.
but a 1? That's not even helpful. What am I supposed to do with that? But I guess it isn't my place to judge. Here, based on the data from your previous playthrough, I've compiled a new version. And to be perfectly candid, I think I've knocked it out of the park with this one. Let's take a look. Now, would you say that competitive leaderboard helped you feel motivated to keep walking through doors?
Nein.
Again, honest answers, please. Hey, I nearly forgot. I've got a prototype of a new game I've been working on, and now would be a lovely opportunity to give it some playtesting. You wouldn't mind taking a look at it, would you?
Doch.
Perfect. Let me boot it up.
Ja.
In this game, the baby crawls left towards danger.
Ich
You
hüpfe
click
jetzt
the
auch ins
button
Feuer.
to move him back to the right, and if he reaches the fire, you fail. It's a very meaningful game, all about the desperation and tedium of endlessly confronting the demands of family life. I think the art world will really take notice. But of course, the message of the game only becomes clear once you've been playing it for about 4 hours. So why don't you give it 4 hours of play to make sure it's effective? Be
Oh,
sure to
es ist
keep
weird,
notes
das
on your
guckt dich
experience.
an.
You heartless bastard. Did you do it because you hate babies or purely to spite me? Because if it's the latter, well, I don't know what to do. I'm completely out of ideas.
Oh.
I can't
Na egal,
think of a
dann können wir das
single
andere
thing
Ende
that
jetzt
might improve
weiterspielen.
the experience for me. I'm not even going to try. I'm out, I'm done. It's over. Thank you for playing. Your input was extremely valuable. Oh, hey, since my game was so awful, why don't we play someone else's game? Just to ease the pain. Let's see. What do we have here? Yes, this seems like it'll work. Let's give it a shot.
Ach je.
Aha,
Das hatten wir doch schon alles.
fascinating.
Komm,
What do you think this
beschleunige
game
das
is
mal.
about, Stanley? What's our backstory? What is our motivation? Well, it seems obvious to me that you are meant to play as a creepy man spying on innocent civilians below you from up high in your creep tower, perhaps for some sort of twisted erotic purpose. Yes, that must be it. What a fascinating venture into the experience of total mental depravity. So far, I love
Schwach,
everything
Alaska.
about this game, Stanley.
Volunteer.
And it seems there's even more. Come, let's venture outward and see what else is out there.
Auch da geht die Uhr falsch. Dann müssen wir wohl da lang. Das Open World Spiel, das uns gleich richtig fertig macht, weil es Open World ist. Ah ja.
Oh no. No, it can't be. It is. It's an open world game. Good God, quickly, block it off. Oh, thank goodness, Stanley. What a close call. You nearly wandered off into that thing. That big, open, just wandering around, no right or wrong directions, no path to follow. You can just go in any... Oh, thank heavens we avoided it.
Ich mag aber in jede Richtung zu gehen.
Okay, I'm going to get us out of here. Let's find another game. Preferably something with walls. Something with nice, big, insurmountable walls.
Na, gut, wir wissen ja schon, was jetzt kommt. Rocket League, Leute. Rocket League.
I think this will be just the thing. Wonderful. See, this is exactly what I had in mind. Just a nice big box for you to run around in. There isn't any possibility that you could get lost here. Now this is game design.
Mann,
Stanley,
warte,
if you manage to get lost in this game, I will be phenomenally impressed.
Ob es uns gefällt oder nicht. Ich glaube, wir müssen.
Okay, so what exactly do we do here? Let's see. There are lots of cars here in the back, but obviously there's no racetrack. Okay, I'm seeing that there's a ball of some kind back here. Is this game sports ball? Stanley, I think it's sports ball. Oh, what fun.
Stanley,
we shall run the bases and do a touchdown together. Yes, I think surely we must. Okay, Stanley, here's the ball. Have fun.
Bonk.
Are you doing it? Are you winning? Is this fun? Is it better than my miserable little story that I worked so hard on? Stanley, I have a thought. And I realize I'm not a sportsologist, but if one ball generates a certain amount of raw adrenal pleasure, then surely multiple balls makes for an even more euphoric sports experience. I'm going to try it out. Here comes another ball.
Absehbar.
Yes. Oh goodness, that really does feel amazing, doesn't it? Stanley, I'm like a child in a confectionery shop. I simply have to have more. I'm insatiable. More balls! Are you enjoying this, Stanley? Are you having fun?
No.
Is this a real video game?
Yeah.
Well, I sure hope you're having a good time, because guess what? It's over. That's right. Your little fun comes to an end. This is my game, and what I say goes. You get to have fun when I let you, Stanley. Besides, you need someone like me to set boundaries for you. Without rules or boundaries, video games are nothing. Yes, that's what I am. I am structure. I'm your sense of purpose. And since you decided you didn't want to play my game, now I don't want to play with you either. So, goodbye, Stanley. I'm leaving. See how you like it when I'm not around to set the rules. Somehow, I don't think you'll enjoy it as much. But who knows? You're an inventive kid, you'll come up with something. After all, you're the one who knows best.
Ja.
Take care, Stanley.
Dankeschön. Dann habe ich Zeit, hier das auszuchecken. Da auch. Ich glaube, wir müssen da runterspringen, ne? Schade. Dann springen wir runter. Rocket League. Die Zuschauerränge sind auch leer gerade.
Hold on. What are you doing? Stanley, don't do that. I can't follow you there. I can't help you. How will you write a story without me? You can't do it. You know that. Stanley, come back.
Wir setzen zurück. Ich will jetzt unbedingt das letzte Collectible noch kriegen.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Nö. Nein, ich bin verwirrt. Das verändert sich ja jetzt die ganze Zeit, oder was?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Nein, klar.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
So mit dir. Da war keine offene Tür.
No, said the bucket. Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. And there it is. The last Stiggly Wiggly.
Das
Savor this
letzte
moment,
Stiggly
Stanley.
Wiggly.
This is a real accomplishment. This
Krass.
is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here, and now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines. But Stanley feared that any path he walked might lead to the separation of himself and the bucket,
Stimmt, das hatten wir
his
noch gar
dearest
nicht.
friend. So he threw himself to his death, that they might die in one another's arms. How deeply
Wie
touching.
romantisch. Cool. Na. Wird Stanley sich jetzt... Die Fortsetzung ist jetzt pausiert. Wird Stanley sich hier seiner Arbeit widmen?